What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford.
The rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney has become one of the most compelling storylines in modern boxing. From the moment their first bout ended in controversy, the boxing world has been engulfed in debates, speculation, and passionate fan reactions. The aftermath of their match, which originally saw Garcia emerge victorious before the result was overturned due to a failed drug test, has only intensified interest in a rematch. While some, like Mike Tyson, believe that true champions settle their scores inside the ring, others, like Floyd Mayweather Jr., emphasize the importance of fairness and integrity before proceeding with another fight. Tyson's straightforward take on the matter, encouraging both fighters to step back into the ring and prove themselves, resonates deeply with fans who value boxing's raw competitiveness. To them, it's not about lawsuits or technicalities, but about heart, discipline, and performance under pressure. On the other side, Mayweather argues that any doubts surrounding fairness and sportsmanship must be addressed before another bout can take place. According to him, both fighters need to be clean and mentally prepared so that the audience can believe in the outcome without hesitation. Another influential voice, Bernard Hopkins, voiced his frustration with the delay surrounding the potential rematch. He sees it as a missed opportunity to reignite interest in boxing's golden era. This is the kind of fight that could revive boxing's golden days. Fans want closure, Hopkins said. And he's not wrong. Ryan versus Devin II has all the makings of a fight of the year, assuming it ever happens. Since their controversial encounter, both Garcia and Haney have evolved as fighters. Garcia, suspended after the failed drug test, has focused intensely on improving his strength, conditioning, and defense, areas where he was previously criticized. Training footage reveals his commitment to endurance and tighter defensive techniques. His signature explosive speed and devastating left hook remain dangerous weapons, as demonstrated by the 3 knockdowns he scored in their first encounter. However, analysts point out that Garcia's tendency to leave his guard down makes him vulnerable to counterpunches. If he can tighten his defense, he becomes a far more formidable opponent. Meanwhile, Haney has continued to build his resume against top-tier opponents such as Shakur Stevenson and George Kambosos Jr. His strengths, technical precision, jab accuracy, footwork, and ring control have become more pronounced. In his previous fight with Garcia, Haney demonstrated grit and resilience, managing to recover from multiple knockdowns. However, critics often note his lack of knockout power, something that could prove disadvantageous against heavy hitters, like Garcia. For Haney to beat Garcia convincingly, he must rely on superior defense, ring IQ, and the ability to dictate the pace of the fight. Despite their growth as fighters, a cloud of legal complications hangs over any rematch. Haney's lawsuit against Garcia accuses him of willful misconduct due to his failed drug test, claiming it compromised the integrity of their initial bout. Garcia's camp insists the failed test was the result of unintentional contamination. Until the lawsuit is resolved, both fighters are at a standstill. Promoters worry that the legal drama could delay or even permanently derail the rematch. These legal wranglings reflect a growing trend in professional sports where disputes are as likely to be settled in courtrooms as they are in the ring. With millions of dollars at stake and reputations on the line, fighters and their teams are increasingly cautious. Yet, despite the behind-the-scenes drama, a Garcia-Haney rematch remains one of the most potentially lucrative events in boxing. Industry analysts estimate that a rematch could generate over $100 million, especially if hosted at a high-profile venue like Las Vegas or Saudi Arabia. Major brands are already circling, drawn by the global appeal and social media influence both fighters command. Speaking of social media, the digital landscape has become a battleground for fan bases. Hashtags like Garcia Haney 2 and Honk Settle It in the Ring trend frequently, revealing the depth of fan investment. Supporters of Garcia argue that his performance in the first fight, particularly the knockdowns, proves his superiority. They see the drug test as a minor mishap, not something that should define his legacy. Haney's fans counter that Garcia's failed test tainted the result, and they applaud Haney for prioritizing integrity over profit. This division among fans mirrors a broader debate in the sport. Can a rivalry rooted in controversy still be resolved in a way that satisfies everyone? Beyond the specifics of this rivalry, the Garcia-Haney saga raises fundamental questions about boxing's direction. Calls for stricter drug testing, better transparency, and more consistent regulations have grown louder. There's also increasing scrutiny on the influence promoters wield, often driven by financial interests that may not align with the best outcomes for the sport or its athletes. This rivalry highlights the tension between boxing's commercial appeal and its competitive integrity. If the legal issues are resolved, a rematch could potentially take place by late 2025. For Garcia, this fight could be about redemption and proving that his win wasn't a fluke. His training efforts, especially in terms of defense and stamina, indicate a fighter taking his comeback seriously. He's remained defiant in the public eye, often positioning himself as the victim of an unfair system. But his provocative behavior at public events shows that he knows the importance of controlling the narrative. Haney, on the other hand, has cultivated an image of discipline and principle. He's used the fallout from Garcia's drug test to reinforce his commitment to clean competition. While some may criticize him for being overly cautious, his decision to face tough opponents like Stevenson and Cambosos suggests he's still willing to take risks in the ring. His composed response to Garcia's provocations underscores his mental strength, an attribute that could serve him well if a rematch materializes. However, the ongoing lawsuit remains a major stumbling block. Garcia has publicly stated that he won't engage in rematch talks until the legal matter is dropped, further complicating negotiations. Promoters and boxing analysts alike have voiced concern that the legal standoff might cause the rematch to collapse completely. Boxing legends have weighed in, only amplifying the spotlight on this feud. Mike Tyson continues to push for the fight to happen, framing it as a necessary test of championship character. Floyd Mayweather Jr., on the other hand, has taken a more cautious approach, advocating for a clean and fair environment before any rematch occurs. These contrasting views reflect the broader split in the boxing community. Some see Garcia as a wronged fighter seeking redemption, while others uphold Haney as the moral standard-bearer of modern boxing. Regardless of how the situation unfolds, the rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney has left an indelible mark on the sport. Their blend of athleticism, personal animosity, and off-the-ring drama has kept boxing fans engaged since their first clash in 2024. Despite Garcia's impressive performance in the ring, the failed drug test and the resulting no-contest ruling have muddied the waters, casting a long shadow over what should have been a defining victory. For Garcia, the next steps in his career are critical. If a rematch with Haney remains out of reach, he may turn his attention to other marquee names like Gervonta Tank Davis or Teofimo Lopez, fights that would keep his momentum going but might not offer the same emotional payoff.